So the Lord gave me this word on Friday, October 11th of 2024. And I saw Tel Aviv in Israel. And then I heard ports, controlling the ports. And I heard hostages. Then I heard TV. I saw Al Jazeera TV station or network. And then he said again, who's controlling the ports? Look into this.
Israel has set its sights on an old foe. It is going after Al Jazeera once again. Yesterday, the Israeli military put out this post. They named 6 Al Jazeera journalists and accused them of being members of terrorist groups in Gaza. Al Jazeera says that the Israeli charges are unfounded, baseless, and a pretext for further violence against its staff. Take, for example, the case of Ismail al-Ghul. He was killed in an airstrike on the 31st of July. After the strike, Israel said that al-Ghul was a Hamas member. So the Israel documents say that he had a military rank at the age of 10 and that he was an engineer for an elite unit at the age of 16 or 17. Now, either Gaza has the world's best engineering colleges or the Israeli documents need to be scrutinized further. Israel has every right to question their biased coverage, but not to call them terrorists on flimsy grounds and then bomb them to oblivion.
IDF unveils new evidence of Hamas-Al Jazeera collaboration. Einav Halabi. After revealing the affiliation of 6 Al Jazeera journalists in Gaza with Hamas and Islamic Jihad, the IDF on Thursday presented additional documents pointing to close collaboration between the terror organization and the Qatari news channel. The documents outline directives from Hamas to Al Jazeera, including barring criticism of Hamas, concealing failed rocket launches, and establishing a secure communication line between the two parties. One of the documents, from 2022, describes how Hamas gave Al Jazeera clear instructions on covering a failed Islamic Jihad rocket launch in Jabalia that killed several Palestinians. Among the directives was a prohibition on using the word massacre to describe the incident, along with advice to minimize the number of images shown and to prevent panelists from criticizing Hamas. We recommend you contact the Islamic Jihad leadership to understand the organization's guidelines and highlight its efforts in manufacturing and developing capabilities, Hamas wrote to the Qatari network. Another document from the same year reveals the instructions Hamas gave to journalist Tamer Amishal regarding his coverage of the Islamic Jihad during Operation Breaking Dawn on his program More Hidden Than Revealed. The instructions were to support the resistance in Gaza and to prevent any criticism of the Islamic Jihad's rocket capabilities, in light of the high number of failed launches. Additionally, a 2023 document shows Hamas decided to establish a Jazeera Phone A secure line for classified communication with the channel, particularly for emergencies. The documents reveal how Hamas directs Al Jazeera's media coverage to serve its own interests, preventing the public in Gaza and around the world from discovering the truth about its crimes against Gazan civilians, an IDF statement said. Meanwhile, Qatari Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman bin Jassim Al Thani was asked about the IDF's allegations concerning Al Jazeera journalists' involvement in terrorism. He responded, Al Jazeera must take action if there is any truth to Israel's claims against its journalists. At a press conference following his meeting with U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, he added, these allegations should be treated with skepticism. We are very proud of the Al Jazeera institution and its war coverage, the Qatari Prime Minister continued. Al Jazeera operates according to the highest international standards of journalism. There is no justification for attacking journalists in conflict zones, and the excuses for doing so are unacceptable. Blinken was also asked about the matter and said he could not verify the Israeli claims.
So I think it's quite clear what the Lord is trying to show us here. Al Jazeera TV news station and hostages, what's going on with the missiles and the rockets, and them not reporting the correct news and working for Hamas. This also has something to do with the ports because the Lord said it. I had no idea that this was what was going on, that Al Jazeera is actually working with Hamas. They're not admitting it, but it looks like the Lord is saying that it's true and that they have held hostages. Look at this video from June.
As 4 hostages were rescued in a daring operation by the IDF, it has now been confirmed that 3 of them were held by journalist Abdallah Al-Jamal in his family home. The family of Abdallah Al-Jamal, doctor and contributor to Al Jazeera and the Palestine Chronicle, was holding Almog Meir John, Andrei Koslov, and Shlomi Ziv captive. He was killed by the IDF when he attempted to prevent the rescue of the hostages. Abdallah al-Jamal was previously a spokesperson for the Hamas-run labor ministry in Gaza and continued to contribute writings to the Palestine Chronicle during the war, even while imprisoning hostages in his home. The Israel Defense Forces confirmed in a statement that al-Jamal had been holding the 3 hostages in a civilian area in Nuseirat, adding that this is further proof that the Hamas terror organization uses the civilian population as human shields. The IDF also posted on X asking Al Jazeera, "What's this terrorist doing on your website?" The Qatar-based outlet Al Jazeera confirmed that al-Jamal had contributed to the publications, but said he was not a paid employee of the network.
This is the hour where all will be exposed, and Jesus will give us the news before the news. So we know the truth, and we know what's coming next. Remember, the truth is what sets you free, and He is the way, the truth, and the light. If you don't know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, you're missing out. Accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior today. Jesus is God, all right? Until next time, guys.